I would train my students to create this other entity. I like to call this other entity the unbiased observer. And when I say the unbiased observer, it means that, okay, so you're watching me, and it's easy for you to look at me, how I do my things, how I speak, how I present it, and come up with your own critique of what I'm doing. Just because it's you observing me and you're not involved in being me. But it's much harder for a person to criticize themselves or to see themselves with their unbiased view. And so part of this training tool is to create this other entity, this other mind that looks at yourself and can be eventually it becomes more than just a viewer. It becomes your advisor. And that's why I love the concept of this little pendant. He's my advisor. Today we're going to talk about Master Kuo Lien Ying's original Tai Chi form, sometimes commonly referred to as Guan Ping Tai Chi. People himself never called his form Guan Ping Tai Chi. He only referred to as Taiji. And you can hear him when he says Da Taiji, which means practice your Tai Chi. The term Guan Ping is a generic term that refers to the style in general, including the various branches of lineage that came down through Master Kuo. But I like to use the term original Tai Chi form to refer to the Tai Chi that Sifu taught in Portsmouth Square from 1967 until his passing in the mid 80s, as to the studentship, because there are some variations in the interpretation of the form through the various branches. Today we're going to work on some Wanting Taiji basics. These are some exercises that I like to teach my students before we actually begin learning the form. You know, when you learn something, there's a lot of bits of information that you have to take in at the very beginning. And of course, after a while, those 5 bits of information become one, and then it's easier to learn because you already kind of have put together a lot of the information from the, very beginning. So the way that I like to do is I like to teach some of the footwork and stanzas separately before I teach students the form, and that way they already have that ingrained. So that's what we're going to do on learning the Guanping Taiji on these video presentations. We're going to learn it kind of like as I teach my students. And we're going to learn today the basic stance, the basic horse stance, and the fundamentals of it. And then we're going to learn 2 backwards walking lines. One is for brush knee twist step, and one is for um, repulse monkey. And if you get that down, it's going to make it a lot easier when we actually learn those movements. Today will be the 5th lesson in the instructional videos for Master Kuo Lien Ying's original Guanping Tai Chi form. In the last lesson, we ended up at the turnaround for Carry Tiger to Mountain in this pose here. And so we'll go from there and learn the movements for Carry Tiger to Mountain and then fist under elbow. With the completion of this lesson today, I kind of arbitrarily break up the form into sections. Sifu didn't really do that, but I think for our learning purposes, we'll call this like the first opening section. And the reason why I'm kind of breaking it up at this point is the next section from fist under elbow to repulse monkey will be a repeat section, pulling back, step up, fan through the arm. So in this series here, those three movements are done more dynamically as you come around for the block. And then you push forward, fist to air, through sky cannon, and then you go back to the original tempo pace, and you do wave hand like clouds, into single whip. Now you come back to high pattern horse, step out diagonally, crossing of the water lily kick is done full speed, and then downward punch is done with explosive power. Step up, grass bird tail, step up, wave hand like clouds, so it's in this last section of the Tai Chi form that it gets much more dynamic and explosive. From here, going down, come up, punch, step back, ride the horse, turn, here. This kick is similar to crossing of the water kick here, and a shoot tiger with bow. So that's where the movements get more dynamic. And then the pace comes back to slow again for grass bird tail to the end. This is a better view of the muktung, the wooden dummy. These are steel pipes for the arms, done in more of a classical angle. And this is the old exhaust pipe that works as the leg. So you can work. We'll do more on muktung in another video. But I wanted to have the arms on one side and leave the other side bare so I can do my stick work without the arms, and sometimes come over here and do the stick with the trapping the arms. So I really like the way to set up right with this hand like this. And then if this is on the step forward like that. And as you come back, you're going to kind of sink down. You don't really bend forward. You can bend forward a little bit, but you're kind of like more sinking and pressing down. So it's like an arc. Notice how this arm arcs down like this as you sink down too, like this. And then from here, you're going to step up, down, step up, down, step up. And so again, as we talked about in the earlier videos, it's in practice just basically portions of the movement over and over to kind of root in the basic movement. So as you come forward, you're going to raise up a little bit, like that. Sinking down, raising up. So from this position, when you raise the left hand and then come back, and it's basically rock forward, sink down as you pivot the arms, and then step forward. And as you step forward, this hand stays in position. So again, here,